So I just had a quick story, real quick. Way back in Egypt, right around probably 7:50 AF. If you were a child, one of the most popular games that you would play with your buds would be a game called Twan. And now Twan basically translates to frog on stick. And it's just like how it sounds. The kids would put frogs on sticks and they would just play about like, daisy, daisy, days, I got my frog on a stick, that kind of thing. And well, one of the children one day, he got a little bored of that. John, they called him. Because that's the first name that popped in my head. That's why they called him that. He got real bored and he said, I want something else on my stick. The frog's not doing it for me anymore. It's kind of boring. We all got frogs. It's real dull. And so he marched off into the woods after a squirrel. He thought a squirrel would be great. It'd just be so much fun with a squirrel. And, well, it turns out that frogs are rather elusive. So he settled with a lion. And so he snuck up behind a lion and he pounced on it and captured it. And the lion was like, dang, it was like a big thing, And he was so proud of himself, so proud. And he was so ready to go back and play with his buds because now the game would be slightly different. And it would be fun. Well, when he got back to town, much to his chagrin, he found that the other kids didn't want to play with him much. And they were like, look, man, they were real dismissive of him. And that really hurt his feelings. They were like, look, man, we don't want to play with you. Because ultimately, we've all just got frogs. And frogs is pretty much the way we're going to keep it with this game. So, not to be rude, but we're not going to play with you. So carry on your business with your lion. And John was real bummed out, man. Real bummed out. And he was like, man, I worked so hard to capture this lion and I'm not giving it up. So he went and played on his own. And he was real bummed out. But luckily, he was a pretty likable guy. So like the week after, all the other children, they're playing on their own. And they're like, man, we're real bummed out. Because John, he's like a real likable guy. And we miss his company. So we want him to come back and play, but he's got a lion. How nonsensical is it for him to play with us? We've all got frogs. And he's got a lion. And one of the children spoke up and said, whoa. If he's got a lion, then obviously it's possible to get a lion. And this just blew the whole group's mind, just like, they're like, dang, we've been shaming him for doing better, and we could just go do better. So that's what they did. They all dispersed themselves into the woods, and in the jungles, and the rainforest, and the plains, and the deserts, and the mountains, and they all got different animals. And so, And so John, not knowing of this, of course, he heard a ruckus one afternoon outside. Sounded like a full-on parade, man. Like, the first thing that crossed his mind is where's the sweet tarts, man? So he looked outside, and it was no parade, but what it was had him so overcome with joy, even more so than with a parade. Because he saw all his buds coming back into town, and he saw a vast array, just a slew of different animals, and there were hippos, and there were snakes. Yes, snakes. Some people tame snakes, and it was great. And what are those things with wings? The one kid, pterodactyl, that's the one. This was a way long time ago. And so he was like, man, what did you guys do? And they were like, man, we got to apologize. You know, we were shaming you for doing better than us, but really, we realized that we could do better than what we were doing. And it was like a huge thing, man. And so, I guess, I don't really know what the moral of this story is. I guess the moral of the story is there's lots of animals out there. So if you've got just a frog and you know that there's way more out there and you're still okay with just having a frog, like, what a squandered waste of time to have a frog on a stick. You know, it's just not feasible to a happy life. So I guess, yeah, there's lots of animals out there. If you don't like your frog, get off your butt and trade it in for a walrus. And if you find that the walrus doesn't suit your needs, you could go get something else, like a sphinx or a minx, or whichever one of those is real. Maybe they're both real, I don't know. That's pretty much all I got.